Hey. So I'm back here doing a little bit of more content for you, more about mixing again. And this time I was thinking I could talk a little bit about my vocals processing, what I typically do, and how I EQ them, and also the compression side of things I will go through. This one I know typically especially well because this is a demo song of mine, and I've done these vocals myself, so I know pretty well how to process my own voice. So there's a lot of different kind of styles that I'm using in this song because it's quite crazy song and a long one. So I was thinking I could go through a few different vocal styles that I've done in this song, and show a little bit about how I go about things. So yeah, let's see. So I was thinking I would start with these lower octave vocals, and let me see what I've done here. That's wrong part. Let's start from here. So, what we've gone through, we came this far. So we'll start from EQ. This is how I typically do things. So I try to get rid of some of the lower kind of stuff, and maybe already put some higher top end to the voice as well, and do that before compressing them much. And yeah, I think at this point I will just show I've been trying to speed up my process lately quite a lot, so I've been making these EQ presets for FabFilter Pro, and yeah, I've been doing this I think long enough to know what I like and how I typically do things. So I put together, I already made some presets for drums, then I made some for guitars like I showed in the previous video that I made. And then now I put together this pack for vocals, a lot of different kind of styles. And yeah, 80% of most of the time it takes me 80% of the EQ just with these presets. So if you're interested to check them out, there's a link in the description. I put them available there if somebody finds them necessary. But that's how I started with this. So I had this low lead vocals preset that I made, and I just loaded it here, and then started to tweak from there. So basically, yeah, listening without this EQ, I'll take that out as well. And what we've gone through. So I can already tell that there is too much really low stuff. So how I typically start would be to add a high pass filter, and I find around 200 hertz is usually a good starting point, at least for my voice, because it's if I sing really low, it's getting really muddy easily. So then I'm just getting rid of everything under 200 hertz, and then I have this dip here to what we've gone through, to get rid of that really muddy stuff. Then with this kind of low vocals, I usually want to boost a little bit of that presence zone region in the spectrum. So I just bring that up a little bit. What we've gone through. And then boosting some top end already here, A lot of the times I will do this after compression, but this time I've been experimenting with this to do things a little bit before as well. And this is something else that I've been also experimenting with, to have this kind of like de-esser happening here. So around 9K I have this dynamic band, which is already taking, like, removing a little bit of that sibilance from the voice. So just like hearing that. Ooh. And yeah, I really like this. Like, I haven't even done anything to this. It's just this automated, like what was already here, and I just threw that there, and it's already like reacting exactly to the frequency band that I like. So yeah, that's basically the EQ part. Let me go through then what I do next typically. So now I'm not using this, but a lot of the times I'm using this EQ to do the same thing. So getting rid of, like, adding high pass and then getting rid of that mud here. And then I'm just using this 1176 type of compression with these kind of vocals, typically with this kind of clean singing vocals, works really well. So just using, I think I used some preset which was already working quite well, and then made some tweaks to it, and then that's followed by this LA2A type of compressor, which is, it's quite classic vocal chain, I guess, to put these two in a row. So can hear maybe like with and without. What we've gone through, we came this far, we should not. Yeah, and then I also have this parallel compressor going on here as well, like 14%. Yeah, bringing a little bit more, making it a little bit more even in that sense. And then what I had here, I think I had just limiter, just getting rid of some of those what we've got higher peaks. I didn't want them to get too high in volume. And then I also made one preset for just like a de-esser. So this is doing the same thing as with before I showed in the first EQ, but it's a little bit now like wider band, and yeah, doing a little bit more of that de-essing. Typically I use like de-esser like this, but with this actually worked quite well. So I just wanted to demonstrate that you can use this FabFilter like dynamic EQ on this case as well. So let's see with and without. What we've gone through, we came this far, we should not give it all up now. Yeah, I say it's working quite nicely. Okay, then let's move on to a little bit like a higher type of vocals. What I've done. Let me see, where can I find a part that would be good for that? Maybe here. Or cry and realize. Quite a bit of echo there. Yeah, so here I'm using again one of my presets that I made. But yeah, this time as I'm doing like more sort of, I guess it's called belting. So I'm just like using the like more air with the vocals, and yeah, singing way higher. So that's typically what happens, you know, have to put a little bit more air to it. And yeah, then there's usually less you don't need to remove that much stuff from the lower from the low end, so it doesn't like sound muddy, that muddy as like a low, really low register vocals does. So yeah, I can just see how this is without this without this EQ.
They could not know whether laugh or cry and realize.
Yeah, you can hear that it's quite muddy, but it's, yeah, just need to do a few tweaks here. So again, high passing, then getting rid of some of that.
They could not know whether laugh or
Some of that low part.
and realize.
Yeah, and then doing the same, I'm already adding a little bit of brightness to it at this point, and then I have this de-esser kind of thing happening here again, just to try things out. And when it comes to this, I think there's not much different from the lower voice that I showed earlier. So
They could not know whether laugh or cry and realize.
yeah, a little bit more of that parallel compressing going on, and then these are compressing a little bit more heavily before that as well, just to make it more even. Because it typically when I sing higher, it's typically a part of the song where there's like a lot of happening, like in this part as well. I think, yeah, there's like a band playing and a million other things. So, well, might take a shortly listen what's going on.
They could not know whether laugh or cry and realize.
Yeah, quite crazy things happening again. Okay, so that's basically my sort of like clean singing. I don't know, it's so weird to call it clean singing because it's only singing, but I guess I'm thinking it in the same way as guitars, that you have clean guitars which doesn't have distortion on them, and then also have like distorted guitars. So I guess I see this in the same way, that those are my clean guitars, and then I have more distorted guitars, or voice in this case. So what I do also quite often is that I sing in this sort of like pitch scream way. So I think here at the end of the song I had something like that going on. So this short phrase probably tells a little bit more what I'm trying to say.
What we ever love belongs to the earth.
Yeah, not the best performance, vocal performance, but yeah, it's a demo, so whatever, it works. So yeah, I also made a preset for this raspy kind of vocals. So it's kind of like you have a clear note what is happening, but you have a lot of like distortion on top of that. Like you create that with your own like voice. And yeah, that's kind of like special case. It brings up a lot of like resonances, and you're also like using so much air and force when you sing that also the sibilance comes up like really easily, and then typically you also have to like compress them quite a lot, so that will bring even more of that sibilance up in volume. So that's something that needs to be taken care of. And yeah, there's also like some muddiness here, again high passing around the same, and then getting rid of some of that muddiness. Let's see.
What we ever love belongs.
Yeah, this kind of like really muffled sound, so just wanted to make it a little bit more clear sounding. And then I felt like there was a lot of these mids they're taking a little bit, getting like too much of that here.
What we ever love belongs to the earth.
Then another thing with these kind of vocals is that this kind of like around 2-3Ks, this presence area, that's also like getting a little bit crazy because all the resonances that the distortion in the voice brings up, or the raspiness in the voice brings up. So that's something that, well, you can probably hear pretty well if I solo it.
Belongs to the earth.
Yeah, and then I have this sibilance, like de-esser happening here again, and then I made this brightness, like adding this brightness, but I made this dynamic as well, so it's reacting to how much there is of that top end happening. So I feel like that helps a little bit with the sibilance. And then I found that there was something happening here at around 6K, which I didn't like. Yeah, that's really like sort of throaty kind of speedy sound, but I felt like it was coming through too much, so I was just making a little tweak there with this dynamic EQ. But yeah, and yeah, that's followed by I've added some saturation with this tube kind of preamp. So yeah, it's hitting that first, mix like 40%, and then I'm using like this distressor type of compressor to make it more even. I feel like this works better with these kind of heavy vocals. So yeah, and then that's followed by this LA2A again. I find it works well with these two. And then there is this parallel compression happening again. So yeah, I can turn these off as well, like one by one.
What we ever love belongs to the earth. What we ever love belongs to the earth.
Yeah, that ending sucks a little bit. Should have been sung a little bit better, but yeah. And then I have this limiter here again.
What we ever love.
Just getting rid of some of those higher peaks. And then I'm using like this de-esser to get rid of that really like bad sibilant stuff, because I think this does the work way better.
What we ever love belongs to the earth. Belongs to the earth.
Yeah, so I might show a little bit in the context.
What we ever love belongs to the earth.
Yeah, so that's basically how I've done it here. Sometimes I like to add a little bit more saturation, but in this case I didn't want to do that. And yeah, let's go. I think lastly I will go through this like completely screamed vocals, like this high scream, what I do sometimes. So let me see. Is this the right portion?
Brace yourselves for breathtaking.
Yeah, so I might take that de-esser off now, and then I'll just show this EQ again. So I made preset for this purpose as well. It's nothing super crazy happening, like not very different, but this is like high pitched scream, or not that much pitch there, but I still tried to hit a certain note while I was doing this, but I added so much distortion or kind of raspiness to the voice that you can't really tell the note, but I tried to keep it consistent in this way that, you know, it sounds the same throughout. But yeah, because it's so high scream, it's I didn't need to remove, like I just did some high passing, but that's all. I didn't need to remove any of that like muddiness or anything. And sometimes I even find that it's better to add a little bit of lows to the voice, this kind of vocals, because sometimes it gets like really thin and it doesn't have like enough force to it. Yeah, but yeah, it completely depends like on the style as well. Like some growling, like lower screaming or growling vocals, they have a lot of low end as well, and then you have to remove that. But these type of vocals, they typically don't. So then I just aimed some of this mid stuff here, which was, I felt like it was too like piercing through. So let's hear without these.
Brace yourselves for breathtaking performance, the act of mindless, the final appearance.
So yeah.
Brace yourselves for breathtaking. Brace yourselves for breathtaking performance. Brace yourselves for breathtaking.
Yeah. So yeah, basically just getting rid of some of that stuff, because it was too much of that in the voice, and I tried to make it a little more even. And then I have this de-esser happening here again, and especially with this kind of voice, this kind of singing, it's the sibilance is getting crazy, gets like super like this speedy sort of only, yeah, because of the way of the technique, how it typically you have to do these kind of vocals. It brings a lot of that kind of spittiness to the voice, I guess. So yeah, I was taking care of that, like with this kind of like de-esser, and then with this dynamic like this high end I guess band here. What is happening? So and then after that, yeah, I think I'm using pretty much the same kind of approach here. So I have this saturation going on, and then hitting it again with this stressor, and then evening it out more with this LA2A compressor, and then adding a little bit more of parallel compression here after that. And yeah, this is off. And this is off as well, so I'm just doing everything here now, like with this. But yeah, sometimes you have to then add a little bit of brightness after that for sure. But yeah, this case it works like this, and especially with these kind of screaming vocals, it's the sibilance and the top end gets really crazy easily. So it's a lot of the times it's quite difficult to add brightness to the voice, or otherwise it gets like too intense. And yeah, then I added some more saturation to the voice with this virtual tape machine.
Brace yourselves for breathtaking performance, the act of my.
Yeah, I think I was going for the, to add a little bit of that thickness to the voice, so I was using this to make that happen. I have the limiter there again, which is again just getting rid of the highest peaks, what you sometimes get, like especially in the beginning of a phrase. And yeah, then using this de-esser to get rid of the sibilance, which typically gets pretty crazy with these kind of vocals. So let's see.
Brace yourselves for breathtaking performance. The act of mindless, the final appearance.
Yeah. Let's hear that in the context as well, how it works.
Brace yourselves for breathtaking performance. The act of mindless, the final appearance.
Yeah. So yeah, that's basically it. I think I added some other presets as well, what I used here. So I have these whispers happening here as well.
Brace yourselves for.
So I made a preset for that too, just to speed up things. I tend to use these kind of whispers sometimes a lot. So that's what I was using here too. And yeah, I added some presets also for like EQ presets for backing vocals as well. Won't go through them here now because trying to keep it short. And then also something for the like a choral kind of stuff, which I typically do in a way that I sing like several times the same harmony and then consolidate it in one file, like stereo file, and then I process it after that. So I added those EQ presets in my preset pack as well. But yeah, basically that's like a quick walkthrough, like how I like to process my vocals. And yeah, hopefully it will provide some insight for you to how to approach these kind of like really diverse kind of vocal techniques. And yeah, if you're interested to check or get the presets for yourself, you can find the link in the description and get them. And yeah, I hope this was some useful information for you. So we'll see you in the next video again. So thanks for watching.